The point of the Bridge Masters is we're here to bridge the gap between knowledge and understanding.
Okay.
I grew
I
up
like.
on PBS. Damn, my camera tripping. All right, what y'all want to talk about? So we got many topics we want to bring up, but there's no particular order. Let it come organically. Number one, Deion Sanders, the fallout from Jackson State University, out there in Mississippi, right? Is that in Mississippi or Alabama? That's in
No,
Mississippi, right?
it's Jackson State, Jackson, Mississippi.
At Mississippi. And then the other story, Dexter said he want to talk about how all these people getting killed. Dexter, not me. I ain't want to say nothing about nothing. But he said he want to talk about people getting killed for starting crypto exchanges. That's him, by the way. He got his mouth open.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you blaming me? But you act like you can't talk about it. I mean,
I'm gonna let the
it's just
government do what they want to do. You know what I mean? If they want to kill people, as long as it ain't me or people I know, I'm Gucci. I ain't trying to start no mess. I went to school. I follow the rules. I'm good.
I'm doing both right now, obviously.
All right. Hold
So
on.
I'm in
Let's see.
here
What do I
ready.
want to talk about? Let me think. There's some things I've been wanting to talk about. I know this is a hot topic, but man, I don't know why. You know, you guys heard the term passport bros?
Oh yeah, that's the guys who go overseas and get women, right?
Well, just in general, like they go out of the country because they can't. They seek relationships outside of the country using their I don't know. I guess their status of being an American, where it's a little bit more valuable in I guess poorer countries to
Yeah.
be in relationships. They don't necessarily get married. They just be out there, right? And then the stigma is they because they feel like that it's more accessible and more affordable. They don't have to invest any time or resources back home. You know what I mean? So there's like a hatred for these people are so weak minded or so I don't know. They like to objectify women, whatever, that they want to just go overseas and do what they do there because they can't do it back home.
Well,
And
for me, one thing you can't call it objectifying if it's a handshake. You know, if you agree to this and she agrees to that, and you guys, come to that mutual agreement, to me, that's a handshake. There's no robbery in that. Like you may feel that they got the shorter end of a stick, but just because you would charge, if they're doing sexual favors, let's say they charge $100, but you would want to pay a guy to pay you $500-600 for the same thing.
oh,
Uh,
now you said it right, dog. It's if it's what they call what you just say. If it's a mutual uh
Handshake agreement.
handshake agreement, then who's a victim?
mhm.
I just think that just speaks for relationships. Period. Anybody outside of a relationship just criticizing, to me, that's just not gonna be a good relationship anyway. Because let's say it's a domestic relationship, you and your wife or you and your girlfriend just enjoying each other's company. You may have some disagreements. Somebody may say, "Hey, he need to open the door for you," or another person go, "How come you dating her? She's gained weight since y'all been together. Is that nice of her?" These are outside influences. Those
Mhm.
people aren't in your relationship. Do you think they really care if you go home and go home by yourself at night? They don't. You know what I mean? The way I feel about, let's say, a dude that wants to go to another country to find a woman, and that's existed forever. What they call that, mail order brides back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not like that's new. So to me, it's like, what, are you mad that Joe Blow went over to meet somebody? I mean, are you trying to holler at Joe Blow? No, I don't want to talk to him. He ugly. So what do you want him to do? Just be
Yeah.
be lonely? Be lonely? Well, he has a better attitude of himself when he comes back. He don't try to talk to us anymore. He doesn't give us the opportunity to reject him. And it's like, do you guys hear yourselves? It's like
Right.
you think these people are lame anyway for doing it. So that means you're not even trying to talk to them. So what should they do as an individual? I'm like, my point is, let folks be happy. If they ain't hurt nobody, like Curtis said, it's a mutual exchange and nobody's getting hurt. What's the problem?
Yeah. No, I agree. Because, like I said, you don't want them, but you don't want no one else to want them. So that's the part that throws me.
Well, no, man. What are your thoughts, Dex? You don't want that single, bro.
I don't really have no thoughts on that subject because just not something I ever think about or
Oh, cause you saying
or
you
look
don't
at.
you ain't struggling to get no attention in America.
No, I'm not struggling to get attention in America.
Man, you just out here straight
I,
lying because you look ugly, bro.
I mean, I might look ugly, but that don't mean I'm still gonna get attention. So that's all that matters.
That's true. Because women don't really look for aesthetics more as men do. Like
Oh,
men
trust me, I
definitely want
know.
women. Yeah, men definitely want someone who's aesthetically pleasing, as opposed to women. They want someone who can be a provider and some sort of other
On
resources.
average, you got to say on average.
On average, yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
on
granted, there are
average.
some women who do want the pretty boys, and there are some men who don't care about looks. So, but like typically,
But I mean, I don't really care. Like at the end of the day, it's like what you like, but don't what they say. Don't what's they say? What's that phrase? What they say? Don't ick somebody's like whatever. If somebody else likes it and you don't, like, not for you to be irked by it, right? You know.
no, that's right. I agree. Typically, me, I don't like big women, but I'm not going to shame anybody else who has a big woman. But
Yeah, I mean, who cares? I mean, like, I'm not gonna spend every day going around telling somebody, they should take care of their body. If they don't care about their body, why should I?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I don't understand. It's like it's now if somebody turns around and say, hey, on the health side, the bigger my body is, the healthier it is. I'm like, what does a doctor say? A doctor's gonna disagree based off of statistics. Higher mortality rate, higher risk of diabetes, risk of high cholesterol. That's just data. I don't speak for the human genetics and biology for what is the right level of health. I know I'm overweight, and my
Yeah.
doctor tells me all the time, I could lose probably 20, 30 pounds. That sounds a lot. It sounds drastic because I feel like I'm in decent shape, but that's what the doctor tells me, you know. So I'm not gonna disagree with the doctor just because I feel like he's trying to shame me. He ain't trying to shame me. I ain't
You know
trying to
what's
hook up with
funny
the
though?
doctor. He a dude.
You know what's funny? Because I had a female doctor a couple years ago, and I got really sick. That food poisoning. I came in and I was like a certain weight. I think I was like 228 or whatever. And she told me, yeah, you're a little overweight. You could stand to lose a few pounds. I looked her up and down, and I was like, because I'm 6'1" and I was like 230, almost 230, and she was like 5'4" and about almost 300. I'm like, ma'am.
Mm.
It's like, you might want to, you know what? Never mind. You got it.
She going by the chart, man. She going by the chart. She just doing her job.
Oh, well, she's doing her job without doing her job. That's funny.
Speaking of job, let's talk about Deion Sanders, man. You see how they pop in? See how I did that thing right there?
That transition,
You
baby.
see that transition, baby?
It was still terrible, but go ahead. Yes.
So
yes.
let's check it out. This is a headline I'm reading right now. Y'all can't see it, but I mean, one day, whenever I stream, y'all be able to see it. Colorado merchandise sales up 700% after hiring Coach Deion Sanders. Prime time. What's that his name? Ain't that name Prime Time?
Prime time. Name is prime time.
Man, people don't remember Deion. I was a little kid, but I still knew who Deion was, and I wasn't even a Cowboys fan. This man, when he was getting drafted, the Buffalo Bills handed him a playbook and was like, "Hey man, review these playbooks, just in case we pick you." And then Deion just asked him, "What pick are y'all?" Like we like number 5. He go, "Oh, I ain't gonna be available around this." Deion one line, he was out. Bills didn't even have a chance to pick him up. That was him as a player. He knew he was an all-star. That man played like 15 different sports at the same time. Bowling, baseball, football, ice hockey. Dude.
I feel like you're making some of these up.
Yeah, I probably is.
Yeah, and I feel like 15 is a high number. He ran sports to think of.
So what are your thoughts on Deion? You wanted to talk about primetime, Dex. What's going on? What's
For
happening?
me, I guess I go against. Well, I'm probably with Dion. Like it was good that he moved on, but I feel like he left out one major aspect, which was helping put HBCU players on the map by not staying there just another year or two longer. Because yes, he brought like the fame to HBCUs, and he complained to the NFL that they weren't coming to HBCUs to recruit players. But then he takes half the team with him out of the HBCU conference. So the cameras are gonna follow him. Is what he got to realize that too. So the cameras, the media, the hype is just gonna follow him, and it's gonna get quiet again on the HBCU.
All right, let me speak from a person that went to a PWI. All right. Let me ask you something. We all can agree that HBCUs do not get enough sports attention, or not draft picks, but like all-star picks, high school star picks, whatever, right? We can agree
Yeah,
that's true. And he brought a whole bunch of attention to Jackson State when he was there, right?
yeah,
But specifically, not HBCUs in general, but specifically, did Jackson State give him the infrastructure he needed to continue to grow Jackson State's popularity? Because clearly he did his end of the deal. He brought players to Jackson State. He won them, what, two SWACs, whatever, conferences,
yeah,
championships?
yeah. 2 championships, but lost in the bowl games.
Okay. But I'm saying, like,
So
I
yeah,
heard he was getting his car broken into, his office broken into, his personal property just stolen. He was having to pay for these kids' meals because the Jackson State wasn't putting up none. He redid the locker rooms out of his own dime. Like, aside from his plight, which was trying to bring attention to HBCUs, I think he did that. He did his part, but he's still a person. They were paying him what, 300,000, maybe 400,000, right? I don't know what they
yeah.
were paying him.
They said
He
three
got
hundred thousand.
Colorado offered 5 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what Cole said for Martin, what he'll do for $5 million. He'll kill himself. You know what I mean?
So yeah. Oh, I get it. At the end of the day, you gotta look at what your best interest for you as a person. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, no matter what, you gotta look out for you because that's the only person at the end of the day that's gonna matter. God gonna look out for you, and you gotta look out for you. And you gotta always do what the best interest is for you and your
So,
family and your
so, so,
situation.
so, so, so how do you feel about Jackson State not paying him what they owed him?
I mean, how much?
HBCU.
I can't really say it's what they owed him. It's what they had for him, what they had available. It kind of
That's all
goes
they
into
got.
it kind of goes into the NBA versus the WNBA.
Oh,
I
we,
know
we,
my
we ain't ready
worth.
to talk about that yet. We trying to
Yeah,
get canceled in episode 1.
yeah, I'm saying though, it's the same thing. It's like I know
Okay.
my worth, but at the same time, you know what the company makes. So
Do you feel like
I see
do you
both
feel like they
sides of the.
took from him? Let's say they said they was gonna pay him back for the meals. Do you feel like Jackson State was wrong for not paying him back?
Did he get it in writing?
What I'm trying to say is, Dex, you still owe me $80, and I need my $80.
That's not even in the talk. What we talking about?
But for me, like the whole Deion Sanders thing is like I see both sides of the argument. Like for him, he did bring
I'm happy for
recognition to
Dion.
HBCUs, and at the same time, if he wanted to bring recognition for HBCUs, he should have stayed. But hey, Deion Sanders, you know his history. He's all about money. If if a job offered you 300,000 versus 5 million annual salary, none of us will stay at that $300,000 job. So I don't even know what the big whoop is about. So, but he had a mission bigger than money, which was bringing recognition to Black players and Black schools. So,
And I would talk on the money subject just in retrospect from working as a government agent before, that pay me what I'm worth type of thing is what do you see as a value? Is your value to the people, regardless of your pay situation, or are you more concerned about the money? And like with prime time, he's already rich. He's already got all these endorsement deals. All this stuff is still money. It's still always gonna roll in. You know, to the day he passed away, and even then, it's gonna go to his children. So it's like, yeah,
I
what do you need to
I'm
value at
just
this
I'm
point in
just
your
I'm just
life?
playing devil's advocate.
mhm.
HBCU is always gonna be there, bro. Before and after Dion, they still gonna be playing football if they want. So to me, it's like,
Not the, not the way that.
why Dion got to be the answer? If anything, he brought, there's multiple persons involved in history. One person brought up the light bulb, another person make the LED. And now somebody using electricity to burn atoms in the fusion. Like, think about how everything, it doesn't just happen all at one time. He just can't come in and fix it and it's gonna be permanently good. You know what I mean? It's systemic,
Oh,
bro.
we know.
You know. I,
Oh, we know. I know because there's plenty of former NFL greats that are coaches, like the coach Eddie George at TSU. One of the other SWAC coaches was a former NFL player. Uh, but as Dion is bigger than himself and has always shined his light, they're not bringing that same effect. Like TSU's record this year in football was terrible compared to Jackson State's record.
Yeah,
And so
I
you
don't
look
care
at
about
that.
TSU anyway, because we went to Martin. They was in the same OVC as us. Skyhawks, baby.
I don't even think we have a sound.
And you know what's funny? That Deion brought so much attention to JSU that I didn't even know Mo Williams was the coach down there for the basketball team.
Mo Williams from
Yeah,
Yes. Oh yeah.
former
Cleveland.
Cleveland Cavalier. Yep.
Was he the
Yep.
one that slept with
Yep.
LeBron's mama?
No.
No. No, that was not. Now, are you still trying to get us canceled on the first episode?
LeBron ain't gonna watch this.
He got people everywhere.
LeBron don't even know the lyrics to some songs. How you gonna recite what we talking about?
But yeah, Mo Williams is down at Jackson State. But yes, so it's crazy. Like I said, it's Deion is bigger than himself and is able to bring a light to a lot of different things. Now, what I think he'll be good for overall colleges and the football game and everything like that, and teaching young men of how to grow up and be bigger than themselves. Yes, it happens. It happens to the best of us.
What happened to $80 I lent you?
I use it, I think, on alcohol.
Bro, I'm just saying, you see your camera, you so depressed. I use it on
I
alcohol.
I use it on alcohol. So that's what happens, man.
All right, so
Okay.
another thing we want to talk about your boy Elon Musk. It's actually pronounced Elon Musk, but who cares? Because people mispronounce my name all the time. But apparently, this man going through some things, man. Ever since acquiring Twitter, people feel like his focus is off, and it'll be different if Twitter was on the up and up. But Twitter seems to be on its continued downward trajectory, and so the other day, Elon gonna put up a post to say, "Y'all want me to step down? Let me know, yes or no." And by a substantial margin that's not negligible, most people wanted him to step down as the head of Twitter. They ain't saying you gotta sell it. They're just saying you probably can't be a CEO at the same time. But then he was just like, "Psych, gotcha, bitch." And he banned everybody that voted yes.
And I was gonna say, that sounds too much like a setup to me, because for him just to fire everybody from a team like that, you think he's gonna be honest about that? If I get enough yeses, I'm gonna step down. It's like, no, he want to see who said yes. Now, if it was anonymous, oh yeah, say yes.
Well, I haven't read all of it. I don't know what the latest is, but I heard that he goes, "Hey, maybe I should do this poll only for those that have paid for Twitter Blue, just the subscription, right?"
Yeah.
All of this started not really so much when he fired everybody or laid off everybody. It's more so suddenly started banning like journalists that were just do like a simple infraction, or at least somewhat simple. And he was just like, "Hey, nope, there's no tolerance for this. You're banned. You're suspended." Well, you're not even banned. They were suspended, and they were suspended because they were sharing a link that showed where his jet was or something like that. And somebody said, "Well, the jet is being all it is a tool that shows where it's at, and it's public information. So the tool just makes it easy available to see, hey, where's Elon at right now, probably, right?" And he was like, "Hey, that's personal information. You're gonna get suspended." And then even then, he didn't know how long he wanted to suspend these folks. At first, people thought it was indefinite, like forever. Some people thought it was 30 days. Some people thought it was 7 days. Some thought it was 3 hours. He even released a poll: how long should I ban these folks, and or should I unsuspend them? Majority of people said unsuspend. So then I think he did. Then he put up another poll like, should he step down or whatever. How people said yeah. He's like, fuck y'all.
Well, he also was suspending people for sharing other links to other media outlets,
Yeah.
like to Facebook, to Instagram, to everything. He was trying to make Twitter its own bubble social media platform.
Well, what it was the initial bot that tracked his location was put up on Twitter. Then he suspended that account. So then that same dude made the same bot available on Facebook. So people were sharing the Facebook link. So that's what happened.
Okay.
But either way, everybody that said he's doing what he wants. Personally speaking, I disagree that these people need to be banned. But at the same token, it's not my company. You know what I mean? It's like he bought the company. It's a private company. He can do with his property what he wants. He could burn it to the ground if that's what he wants. He paid for it. You know what I mean? And at the same time, people, if you don't like his product, now that he owns it, then stop using it. There's a reason why we don't use MySpace anymore. You know what I mean? Like, think about it.
Uh,
MySpace was up and up when Tom was running the show. Then he sold it, and everybody got off. You know what I'm saying? So why
yeah.
can how come Twitter can't suffer the same fate? And some people say, oh well, you're just a fanboy of Elon. I'm like, no, It wouldn't matter who it was. I mean, there's all these alternatives that have popped up. There's Rumble. There's, I guess, Trump's Truth Social. You want to get on that? You go ahead, sign up. He'll take you. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm just kind of like I feel like it's just a lot of fodder because he happens to be very rich, and he's not even the richest man in the world anymore. The guy that owns Versace is now.
and uh, and then he was trying to say it was safety hazards about sharing his information, but it was like it's still publicly accessed information. So you're flying in the U.S. You're speaking to FAA officials about where your jet has to come and
Yeah,
go.
I,
So all your information is still going to be public, regardless of what you say and do.
it's
People can still find out what
it
you or
it is
anybody else in the world
it
is
is
doing.
public, but it isn't just necessarily like a click of a button. You know what city he's in. You have to like
Yeah,
follow. You have to look up his jet and then trace where his jet was at what time. So you would have to do that manual. Where somebody made it easier to find them. Just like somebody's
yeah,
address. If you wanted to know where somebody lived, you could probably look up the county the assessor, and figure out where somebody's house is to collect your $80. You know.
you really could. But if
hmm
they don't no longer live at that address, even though they own that the address or places of addresses, then it makes it a little harder to find them.
Which is kind of strange because it's like we have laws that are like we want our privacy, but the law also states that some things have to be done in the public domain. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like how private can we really live our lives? Because I get it. I mean, Elon Musk, if somebody want to hurt him, he don't. A lot of people that don't like him, so they're gonna go after him. So he's worried about him and his family, whatever. But at the same time, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because he tried not to buy Twitter. Let's take it all the way back. He was trying to renege on the deal, but they was
what
like
what
nah, bruh, you said you gonna pay for it, so come pay $54 a share. So he had to go through with it. You know.
well, if that's the case, he should look for a buyer. So he should look to sell, and that's the case. Or he should have never said he was going to buy Twitter to begin with if he was worried about all that. So I think he got too big of himself. He figured he could run one company, and we're talking about free speech when he's literally limiting journalists for free speech,
Well, I
especially for
mean,
some journalists that talk bad. Well, they said he blocked people that talk bad about him too. So
I feel like these. Like I said, I understand both sides. Like it's like there's suppression of damn bro. All I see is Curtis's neck. Uh,
Oh no, I'm in the kitchen now doing some stuff.
what you cooking, bro? Uh, Not like Elon Musk. Like I get it. Like he well mute yourself, bro. Every time you make a noise, it put the camera back on you, ugly self. Unless you're trying to
Oh
say
yeah, you
something.
know what? I was just thinking that when I.
But no. What I was saying is like it's hard to look at it without somebody thinking you're being biased because for the longest people have suspected Twitter to have suppressed a lot of conservative ideas or what they consider not mainstream enough because they just whatever, right? Certain things against pandemic or certain things against the last president. They didn't like it. They banned them for that or whatever. But at the same token, there are a lot of things on the left that I would say, need not say need censorship, but need proof. Like they would just run with it. And
yeah,
I don't know. Elon's trying his best to do the thing, but at the same time, Elon's still human. He gonna look out for himself. He's not gonna let anything negative about himself propagate too far, especially when he owns the platform. That's why I say, look, I say just dip. Everybody go to TikTok and let them get all our user data. it's owned by a Chinese company anyway. So you already know they stealing all our information because it say it straight up when you download the app. Like we use your metadata, we sell it, and there's no way
that
around it. That's just what social media is. Either you give up your freedoms, or either you get all the freedoms you want and you give up your personal data. B, you have some restrictions and then you feel what they call censored.
yeah, that's why the U.S. government is thinking about banning TikTok in the U.S. So
They probably
see,
won't.
look, everything keeps coming around back to the government and how they want to do stuff and how just like I said in the beginning, all these folks they've been with this cryptocurrency just been going left and right.
Well, I heard about that TikTok. They said they're banning government officials from using it. So I'm pretty sure it's probably going to expand, later on in life. But they're starting with government officials. So
I don't know why my face so shiny right now.
They say ain't no I in team, but my Mbappe had the M and the E in his name, and so he let him know he was carrying France on his back.
Um, I was at that L.A., Boston. These big markets always win some kind of championships, or some part of California, some part of Florida, or whatever. It's just, and it makes sense because if you think about it, like just like the stock market, like a company has too much money invested into it, you can't let it fail all at once because they've invested too much. You're gonna let people back out and get money elsewhere. Like I don't know, man. It's just like LeBron is a good player. I actually like him outside of basketball, but the fact that he was able to leave Cleveland, go to Miami, win a championship there, come back to Cleveland, suddenly win a championship there, and then go to LA and win a championship in the bubble. Not saying that he himself isn't talented, but basketball is a team sport, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so how can and it's just it wasn't like with Michael Jordan. Even Michael Jordan, he won 6 rings, right? Like the
yeah,
NBA wasn't as big as it was then as it is now. So they figured, hey, this man, we keep letting this man win. We're gonna keep getting more eyeballs year over year. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
just saying, like, it's just at some point it goes beyond the who can kick the ball best or who can shoot the ball best. It just goes back to which team can make this sport more popular. So Morocco was never gonna win the world. They weren't gonna let Morocco get that deep into the game. It was always gonna be Argentina or France or a big viewership where people just expect Portugal, Spain. It's always one of those teams because they have a big following, right? So that's why it was a big
yeah.
upset.
Germany.
Germany getting knocked out by Japan, like to me, that wasn't what they planned for. But Japan, they summon all that anime strength into them. They went Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Um, or South Korea too. South Korea did a really good job knocking out some people. So it's kind of like it's like a Cinderella story. People realize that a Cinderella story makes it more popular, and then everybody started watching it. They're like, okay, back to business. Argentina gonna win. They made France, that dude that bet on that parlay, whatever. Like he ended up
Yeah,
he ended up cashing out, which is the smart thing. Of course, in the long run, it was the smartest thing, but it was like that brought a lot of attention to it. Like who the hell just bets on all these championships a year in advance? And he hit all of them except for the last one, of course.
yeah.
But either
That's what I figured. That's what I figured too. A lot of sports are rigged. Coming from Skyhawk Nation, where our girls team back in the day was really great and could take on the Dukes and everything. But somehow, over those 4 years while I was in college, they always lost at the last second. Always came down to just losing by 2 points. And I said, yeah. I mean, you can't let Duke or North Carolina and stuff lose to to some Skyhawks. Like
that's because
that's gonna mess up everything.
that's because you was in the stands looking at him, bro. You were distracting, bro. They're like, dang, who that? He ugly. They're missing free throws.
So no, that's not how that would have happened if
Well,
I
I'm
was
just
there.
saying, I'm happy for Messi. This is what his fourth championship, World Cup, third or fourth, something like
Third,
that.
I think third. Yeah,
And
third
he's probably gonna retire
World
after
Cup.
this. But I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it. I feel like that's great for him. He's retiring on a good note. But you know who's really winning? Ronaldo. 400 million to go play for who's he gonna play for? Saudi Arabia?
I have no idea. I didn't look
Bro,
at his new
400
contract.
million. I don't even know how many years he gotta play. But all I gotta say is 400 million. And I'm not saying he's lost his prime. He's still really good. But 400 million, bro, they ain't gonna make no return on that.
No, ain't no way.
So, I might as well give me $20 to shoot a corner.
That's the wrong sport. But yeah.
I make all them field goals. I'm gonna switch topics unless y'all want to just cut it.